Hershey's churns out an astounding 5,000 candy bars worth of chocolate every single second, enough to stock an entire grocery aisle in under a minute, with iconic bars, Kisses, and Reese's. But this isn't just about satisfying sweet cravings. It's a massive operation rooted deeply in communities, supporting farmers, pioneering sustainable practices, and impacting lives worldwide. So what does it mean to be one of the world's most recognized chocolate brands? And how is it all made in a factory? Milton Hershey wasn't your typical businessman. Born in 1857 in Pennsylvania's Amish country, he was raised in a Mennonite family that valued humility and hard work. But Milton had bigger dreams than what his rural background could offer. His path to success, though, was paved with plenty of failures. After bouncing between a few different candy ventures, most of which fizzled out, he finally found some success with caramels. But Milton wasn't one to settle. Caramels were all well and good, but he had his heart set on chocolate, specifically milk chocolate. In those days, milk chocolate was a luxury item produced mainly by fancy Swiss chocolatiers. But Milton saw no reason why this treat should be only for the wealthy. His goal? To make chocolate affordable, accessible, and a daily indulgence for everyone. In 1900, Milton sold his caramel business for $1 million, a small fortune at the time. With that, he bought 1,200 acres of farmland in Derry Township, Pennsylvania, and started his chocolate factory. But Hershey's vision went beyond chocolate. He wanted to build a community. He created a town with homes, schools, parks, and even a zoo, specifically designed for his workers. Hershey, Pennsylvania, was less a company town and more a chocolate utopia, with perks that most laborers in America couldn't even dream of. Creating his milk chocolate wasn't all smooth sailing. In fact, early batches were a bit funky. They reportedly tasted like cheese, but Milton didn't give up. After many tweaks, he finally perfected the formula. And in 1900, the Hershey's milk chocolate bar made its debut. It was an instant hit. Suddenly, ordinary Americans could afford a taste of luxury, and Milton's chocolate bars became a national sensation. In 1907, Hershey introduced the world to Hershey's Kisses. Wrapped in foil by hand and sporting their unique teardrop shape, they quickly became iconic. Today, Hershey's produces over 70 million Kisses every day. They say the name came from the sound the machine made when it dropped the chocolate, although Milton's marketing team probably just knew a good name when they heard one. Hershey's commitment to his workers and his community didn't stop there. During the Great Depression, when most companies were laying off workers, Hershey kept his employees busy by commissioning buildings and public works projects. He also produced special Field Ration D chocolate bars for troops during World War II. Designed to withstand high temperatures and sustain soldiers, the bars were famously unappealing, but they got the job done. Milton Hershey himself was a paradox, humble and frugal despite his success. He funneled most of his wealth into a trust for the Milton Hershey School, a boarding school for disadvantaged children that's still active today. Even his last will didn't go toward family or heirs, but instead ensured the continuation of his school and charitable projects. So, Hershey didn't just bring chocolate to the masses, he built an empire with heart. From the invention of the beloved Kiss to an entire town shaped by his vision, Milton Hershey left a legacy that goes far beyond a candy wrapper. But enough history lessons. Let's get to work inside the factory. The journey of a Hershey's chocolate bar begins long before the beans arrive at the factory. Hershey sources its cocoa beans from countries near the equator, including Ghana, Ivory Coast, and parts of Latin America, where the climate and soil are ideal for cocoa cultivation. Each region contributes distinct flavors to the final chocolate, thanks to differences in the terroir. Factors like soil quality, weather patterns, and even the age of the cocoa trees themselves. Farmers harvest the cocoa pods by hand, cutting them open to reveal the beans nestled in a white, fleshy pulp. These beans are then fermented, which is a crucial step in flavor development. During fermentation, naturally occurring yeasts and bacteria break down the pulp surrounding the beans, which initiates chemical changes within the bean itself, developing the characteristic cocoa flavor we associate with chocolate. After several days of fermentation, the beans are dried in the sun to further enhance their flavor and reduce moisture content, which is essential for preventing mold during shipment. Dried beans are then packed and shipped to Hershey's Pennsylvania factory. Once the beans arrive, they're carefully inspected for quality. Hershey uses a blend of beans from different regions, which allows them to create a consistent flavor profile in their chocolate. The beans are then roasted, a crucial step that enhances their complex, chocolatey aroma and flavors. Roasting is both an art and a science, and Hershey's chocolatiers carefully control the temperature and duration for each batch. The beans are roasted in large, rotating drum roasters, which ensures even heating. The temperature can range from 250 degrees Fahrenheit to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the bean variety and the desired flavor profile. Higher temperatures can bring out deeper, more intense flavors, while lower temperatures help retain the bean's natural floral and fruity notes. This roasting process lasts around 30 minutes and has to be monitored closely, as over-roasting can lead to bitterness, while under-roasting can leave the chocolate tasting dull. After roasting, the beans are cooled and sent through a machine that cracks them open to expose the cocoa nibs inside. Cocoa nibs are small, hard pieces that contain both cocoa solids and cocoa butter, which are essential for making chocolate. The nibs need to be separated from the husks, or shells, of the beans, a process called winnowing. Winnowing is done by a machine that uses jets of air to blow away the lighter husks, leaving the denser nibs behind. The result is a pile of clean cocoa nibs that will go on to form the backbone of Hershey's chocolate. The discarded husks don't go to waste either. They're often repurposed as mulch or for other agricultural uses. The nibs are then ground into a thick paste called chocolate liquor, a key ingredient in chocolate making. This liquor isn't alcoholic. It's simply a blend of cocoa solids and cocoa butter that forms the basis of chocolate. Grinding is done using heavy-duty stone mills or metal grinders, which crush the nibs until they release their natural oils and form a smooth, liquid-like paste. Hershey uses a multi-stage grinding process that gradually reduces the particle size of the chocolate liquor. Smaller particle sizes make for smoother chocolate, as larger particles can give it a grainy texture. The chocolate liquor is then transferred to holding tanks, where it can be processed further or combined with other ingredients. After grinding, the chocolate liquor goes through a refining process that involves a series of steel rollers. This step helps to further reduce the particle size, making the chocolate smoother and silkier. Hershey's rollers can achieve particles as small as 20 microns, which is about half the width of a human hair. This fineness is what gives Hershey's chocolate its signature melt-in-your-mouth quality. Once refined, the chocolate liquor moves to the conching stage. Conching is an extended mixing and aerating process that further smooths the chocolate and helps develop its flavor. Conching machines, which were popularized by Milton Hershey himself, contain large, paddle-like blades that slowly churn the chocolate for hours, sometimes even days. The purpose of conching is twofold. First, it creates a creamy, uniform texture, and second, it allows any unwanted volatile compounds, which can give chocolate an off flavor, to evaporate. Conching also distributes the cocoa butter evenly, giving the chocolate a glossy finish. Hershey's conching process is specially designed to give their chocolate its signature flavor, balancing sweetness, creaminess, and a slight tanginess. One of the key ingredients that sets Hershey's chocolate apart is its milk. Instead of using powdered milk, Hershey has developed a process for using fresh milk in its chocolate, which gives it a distinctive taste. The milk is condensed and combined with sugar, creating a unique blend that Hershey has perfected over decades. This milk-sugar mixture is added to the chocolate liquor, and together they undergo additional refining. Hershey's unique milk processing method includes controlled fermentation, which creates that slight tanginess that many associate with Hershey's chocolate. It's a polarizing flavor, but for millions, it's the taste of nostalgia. Once all the ingredients are combined, the chocolate is tempered, a critical step in the chocolate-making process that involves heating, cooling, and reheating the chocolate to specific temperatures. Tempering encourages the cocoa butter to crystallize in a stable form, which gives chocolate its glossy finish and satisfying snap when you break a piece. In the Hershey factory, tempering is done using sophisticated machines that carefully control the temperature to ensure consistency. The chocolate is brought to a high temperature, then cooled, and finally heated again to the ideal working temperature. Without tempering, chocolate can appear dull and may develop a grainy texture due to unstable crystals forming in the cocoa butter. After tempering, the chocolate is poured into molds. Hershey's has a wide variety of molds depending on the product: classic bars, kisses, Reese's shapes, and more. The molds are vibrated to remove any air bubbles and ensure the chocolate fills every crevice evenly. This vibration is key for consistent texture and structure in the final product. The molds then go through a cooling tunnel, which gradually solidifies the chocolate. This process is carefully controlled to prevent temperature shock, which can cause the chocolate to bloom, a white, streaky appearance that occurs when cocoa butter separates out. Cooling at the right pace helps to preserve the chocolate's smooth texture and glossy surface. Once cooled, the chocolate is demolded and moved to the packaging area. For kisses, automated wrapping machines place each piece in its signature foil, with a paper plume sticking out. Hershey's production lines are highly automated, allowing each machine to wrap thousands of kisses or bars per minute with precision. The wrapped chocolates are sorted, boxed, and prepared for shipment, ensuring they stay fresh until they reach the store shelves. Throughout every step of the process, Hershey's employs strict quality control measures. Samples are taken from each batch to check for consistency in flavor, texture, and appearance. Technicians regularly test the chocolate's viscosity, particle size, and aroma, ensuring that every bar that leaves the factory meets Hershey's high standards. Hershey's chocolate is more than just a sweet treat. It's a brand that has left a mark on the world. From Milton Hershey's dream of making chocolate affordable to millions of people, the company has grown into one of the biggest players in the chocolate industry, reaching over 60 countries. But Hershey's global reach has gone beyond just selling chocolate bars. It has influenced farming communities, economies, and even set standards in the chocolate industry. A large part of Hershey's impact is on the cocoa-growing regions in places like West Africa. Knowing that cocoa farmers are the backbone of its business, Hershey has set up programs to help improve the lives of those who grow their cocoa. Programs like Hershey Learn to Grow give farmers training on how to grow cocoa in better ways, provide resources for education, and help these communities get access to health services. These efforts help farmers improve their cocoa crops and work towards a better quality of life, while also being kinder to the environment. Still, Hershey has had to face some challenges in its mission to create a positive impact. The chocolate industry as a whole has been criticized for problems like child labor, harm to the environment, and farming practices that aren't sustainable. Hershey, as a major player in this industry, has made commitments to source 100% of its cocoa in a sustainable way. They work with organizations like Fairtrade and Rainforest Alliance to ensure that the cocoa in their products is grown with good practices, but making this a reality on a global level is still a work in progress. Hershey has also made strong efforts to reduce its impact on the environment. From lowering its use of water and energy to using more eco-friendly packaging, the company is aiming to become a greener business. Their Sustainable Cocoa for Good program is part of this push, focusing not only on buying cocoa responsibly, but also on supporting the communities that produce it. With goals for reducing pollution and improving farming practices, Hershey is showing that they're thinking about the planet's future. On top of all this, Hershey's chocolate has had a big cultural impact. Hershey bars, Reese's peanut butter cups, and kisses have become more than just candy. They're symbols of joy and comfort. These products are often part of family traditions, holiday gatherings, and everyday celebrations. In this way, Hershey has woven itself into people's memories and moments of happiness. It's a brand that has come to represent American chocolate, shaping how people think about chocolate worldwide. What started as a simple idea in a small town has grown into a global brand with deep impact. Hershey's chocolate has not only made chocolate affordable and loved by millions, but has also taken steps to support the communities that make it all possible. With programs that focus on helping farmers, being eco-friendly, and setting ethical standards. Hershey is more than just a chocolate company. Hershey's journey shows how something as simple as chocolate can have a far-reaching influence on people and the world. As the company continues to grow, its mix of quality chocolate and commitment to positive change sets it apart. In every Hershey's chocolate bar, there's a bit of that original dream that started in Pennsylvania and made its way to sweeten lives across the globe. As you unwrap your next Hershey's treat, consider the journey that brought it from cocoa bean to chocolate bar. What's your favorite Hershey's product? Is it the bars, the kisses, or the Reese's? Let us know in the comments.
We're making a big change to Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. We're adding a delicious layer of caramel.
Yes! I love caramel!
But we're only making a few of them.
Did you know that Americans consume enough Reese's Peanut Butter Cups each year to stretch to the moon and back? Yeah, that's how much people love this candy. But have you ever wondered what makes these little chocolate peanut butter masterpieces so irresistible? Whether you're munching on one during a movie or secretly hoarding them in your drawer, no judgment. There's more going on behind the scenes than you'd think. Let's dive in and see how Reese's makes magic happen. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups didn't just pop out of nowhere. They've got quite the backstory. Let's rewind to the 1920s, when Harry Burnett Reese, a former dairy farmer with a penchant for candy making, came up with the brilliant idea to combine two of America's favorite things, chocolate and peanut butter. His candy-making journey didn't begin in some massive factory or high-tech kitchen. Nope, he started right in the basement of his house in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Talk about humble beginnings. Reese was working for the Hershey Company at the time, and being surrounded by chocolate all day must have sparked some inspiration. He decided to create his own candy, combining smooth chocolate with creamy peanut butter, two things that sound like they were destined to be together. And thus, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup was born. At first, Reese sold these sweet treats as penny cups, named after their affordable 1-cent price tag. Despite the hardships of the Great Depression, penny cups became a hit because, well, who could resist a cheap and delicious chocolate and peanut butter combo? By the time Reese passed away in 1956, his basement-born creation had grown into a candy empire. In 1963, his old employer Hershey purchased the H.B. Reese Candy Company for a whopping $23.5 million, which, fun fact, would be worth over $200 million in today's dollars. Now, Reese's cups are sold in over 110 countries, and the brand has expanded to include all kinds of peanut butter and chocolate delights, from Reese's Pieces to Reese's Big Cups. In 2019, Reese's introduced Reese's Thins, a slimmer version of the classic cup for those who want to enjoy the flavor with a little less guilt. But despite all the spin-offs, the classic Reese's Peanut Butter Cup remains the top dog. Why mess with perfection, right? Let's jump into the factory to see how Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are actually made. The journey starts with the main ingredient, peanuts. Now, Reese's doesn't just grab any old peanuts off the shelf. Oh no, they use specific varieties like Virginia or Runner peanuts, which are known for their rich flavor and uniform size, the perfect base for that iconic peanut butter filling. These peanuts are sourced from the southern United States, with farms in Georgia, Alabama, and other peanut-growing states supplying the goods. Once they arrive at the factory, it's time for some quality checks. Reese's doesn't mess around when it comes to peanut quality. Only the best of the best make it into your cup. Once approved, the peanuts are sent to giant roasting ovens. These ovens can roast up to 18,000 peanuts per hour, heating them to about 150 degrees Celsius for around 30 minutes. This brings out the deep, nutty flavor we all love. It's like the peanuts are getting their own little spa treatment before they're ground into that delicious peanut butter. Peanuts used in Reese's are roasted in such a way that they release the oils that enhance the flavor and smoothness of the final peanut butter filling. After the roasting, the peanuts are sent to the next stage, turning them into the famous Reese's peanut butter. The roasted peanuts go through a machine that shells and cools them. Then they're ground up into a fine paste using industrial grinders. Think of it as your kitchen blender on steroids. This peanut butter isn't just plain old peanut butter you might find in a jar. It's got a special blend of sugar, salt, and some other secret ingredients to give it that slightly grainy but oh so satisfying texture. Some rumors suggest that the secret formula might involve a dash of vegetable oils for smoothness and maybe even a touch of vanilla for flavor. Whatever it is, it works. Once the peanut butter has reached the perfect consistency, it's carefully checked for texture and taste. If it's too thick, it won't spread smoothly in the cups. Too thin? Well, let's just say you'd be in for a peanut butter mess. The goal is to make sure every single Reese's cup has that signature filling we can't get enough of. Reese's has mastered the art of the peanut butter to chocolate ratio. Each cup has just the right amount of peanut butter and chocolate to ensure that perfect balance of flavors in every bite. Now let's talk about the chocolate, because let's be honest, the chocolate is just as important as the peanut butter. Reese's uses a special blend of Hershey's milk chocolate, which is melted down in massive vats to create the perfect coating. But here's where it gets interesting. The melted chocolate doesn't just get poured over the peanut butter willy-nilly. The chocolate has to go through a process called tempering, which is basically a way of heating and cooling the chocolate to give it that perfect, smooth, shiny finish. This also ensures that your Reese's cup doesn't melt the moment you take it out of the wrapper, because that would be tragic. The tempering process not only gives the chocolate a smooth finish, but also gives that signature snap when you bite into a perfectly tempered chocolate shell. Once tempered, the chocolate is ready to go. But before the peanut butter can get its chocolate blanket, we need to create the base layer for the cups. So how do they get those perfect little cups, you ask? Reese's uses specially designed molds that are loaded onto conveyor belts. These molds look like trays with hundreds of cup-shaped indentations, waiting to be filled with chocolate and peanut butter. The first step in creating each cup is to pour a thin layer of chocolate into the bottom of the molds. This forms the base of the Reese's cup and gives it structure. The chocolate is rotated and spread evenly across the bottom of each mold, making sure there's a solid base to hold all that peanut butter goodness. Once the base layer of chocolate is ready, it's time to add the peanut butter filling. Using precision nozzles, a perfectly measured amount of peanut butter is squirted into the center of each chocolate base. This isn't just random squirting. Oh no. The peanut butter has to be just the right amount so that every bite has that ideal balance of chocolate and peanut butter. If the peanut butter is off-center or too heavy, you've got yourself an imperfect cup. Every single cup is precision measured to ensure that the peanut butter is exactly centered in the chocolate base. That's why you never bite into an uneven Reese's cup. With the peanut butter now sitting perfectly in the center of the cup molds, it's time for the top layer of chocolate. Another stream of tempered milk chocolate flows over the peanut butter, sealing it in with that signature Reese's embrace. The chocolate is carefully poured to completely cover the peanut butter filling, ensuring it's evenly coated. At this stage, the peanut butter is fully encased in chocolate, and the molds are starting to look like the Reese's cups you know and love. The balance here is everything. Too much chocolate and you drown out the peanut butter flavor. Too little, and it's not really a Reese's. But don't worry, Reese's has been doing this for decades, so they've got it down to a science. After the cups are filled with chocolate and peanut butter, they take a nice little ride into the cooling chamber. Here, the temperature is carefully controlled to quickly cool down and harden the chocolate without affecting the peanut butter filling inside. This ensures that the chocolate sets with that nice, firm shell that stays intact until you take your first bite. Reese's cooling tunnels can stretch over several hundred feet, ensuring that the cups are perfectly cooled before they hit the packaging line. The cooling process is crucial because it solidifies the cup and gives it that satisfying snap when you break into it. Once the cups have been cooled to perfection, they're ready for packaging. At this point, the Reese's cups are ready to be packed up and sent out into the world. The fully formed cooled cups are fed into high-speed packaging machines that wrap each one in its iconic orange and yellow wrappers. These wrappers don't just protect the candy, they make it instantly recognizable. Over 40 million Reese's peanut butter cups are produced daily, to meet the insatiable demand of chocolate peanut butter fans around the world. And just like the peanuts, the packaging process goes through rigorous quality control checks. The folks at Reese's don't want you getting a cup that's too smooshed or melted before it even hits the shelves. Every cup has to meet their high standards before it gets boxed up and shipped off to stores. Beyond just making mouth-watering candy, Reese's parent company, Hershey, has been working to make the production process more sustainable. They've implemented practices like sourcing peanuts from farmers who use responsible farming techniques, such as crop rotation and reduced tillage, which helps protect the environment and maintain healthy soil. In addition, Hershey has invested in energy-efficient roasting equipment and transportation methods to reduce their environmental impact. By working closely with local peanut farmers, they're not only making sure they have a steady supply of high-quality peanuts, but they're also supporting local economies and reducing transportation emissions. By partnering with sustainable peanut farms, Hershey ensures that the legacy of Reese's stays as environmentally friendly as it is delicious. And that's the inside scoop on how Reese's peanut butter cups are made. From the perfectly roasted peanuts to the smooth milk chocolate, it's no wonder this sweet treat is a favorite around the world. But before you go, we've got a question for you. Do you prefer the chocolate or the peanut butter more? Or is it the combination that makes Reese's your go-to? Let us know in the comments. Snickers is so popular, they sell about 400 million bars a year, enough to circle the Earth more than 5 times. Yeah, 5 times. So now that you're imagining a Snickers chain wrapping around the planet, have you ever wondered what actually goes into making them? Before we get our hands sticky with caramel and peanuts, let's snack on a little bit of history. The Snickers bar was invented way back in 1930 by the Mars family. And get this, it wasn't named after some wild new flavor or a genius marketing idea. Nope, it was named after the family's favorite horse. Yes, a horse. Snickers the horse apparently left quite the legacy, but let's be real. His candy counterpart has galloped way past him in popularity. Sorry, buddy. Now, the Mars family wasn't new to the candy game. The family patriarch, Frank Mars, had already created the Milky Way bar in 1923, which was a massive hit. He wanted to follow up that success with something that had even more texture and flavor. Enter the Snickers bar, which combined the chewy nougat from Milky Way with the satisfying crunch of roasted peanuts and rich caramel. And, of course, the whole thing was enrobed in a thick layer of chocolate. The idea was to create a snack that offered the perfect mix of sweet and salty, something that could fill you up and satisfy a variety of cravings. Snickers quickly became a fan favorite. And here's a fun fact to chew on. Today, Snickers is the best-selling candy bar in the world. Over 400 million Snickers bars are sold every year. That's a whole lot of peanuts. The combination of nougat, caramel, peanuts, and chocolate hit all the right notes for candy lovers, and it hasn't changed much since its debut. People loved it back in the 1930s, and they're still loving it today. In fact, if you stacked all the Snickers bars sold annually, you'd have enough to circle the Earth more than 5 times. Now that's a lot of Snickers. But enough with the history lesson. Let's fast forward to how this chocolatey masterpiece gets made. Brace yourselves, because this journey is going to be nuttier than you think. First things first, to make a Snickers bar, you need the essentials: nougat, caramel, peanuts, and chocolate. Simple, right? Not so fast. Just like the best recipes, it's all about how these ingredients come together that makes the magic happen. Snickers even produces enough bars each year to feed the entire population of the US, twice. That's how popular this candy is. Let's head into the factory and take a peek behind the scenes at how it all starts. First up, nougat. Making nougat on an industrial scale is a little different from whipping up a small batch at home, as if you're casually making nougat for your next bake sale. In the factory, they start by combining sugar, corn syrup, and water in these massive steel vats that could probably hold a small swimming pool's worth of nougat. The syrup is heated until it reaches just the right temperature. Too hot, and you've got yourself a nougat brick. Too cool, and well, you'd have nougat soup. Neither is ideal. Once it's ready, they slowly add whipped egg whites to give the nougat that fluffy, chewy texture we know and love. Then it's beaten to within an inch of its life by industrial whisks that are so powerful they could probably launch a car. The result? A soft, chewy base that's ready to be layered. The nougat is spread out across giant conveyor belts, where it forms this never-ending sheet of sweet, chewy goodness. It's basically a nougat magic carpet rolling through the factory. At this point, the nougat is the foundation, patiently waiting for its gooey and crunchy companions to join the party. Now, it's time for the caramel. If you thought nougat was cool, wait until you see the caramel process. This isn't just your average caramel, it's Snickers caramel. So, it has to be next level. First, they melt down sugar, milk, and butter until it turns into that rich golden syrup we know and love. Then it's poured directly onto the moving sheet of nougat, like some kind of caramel waterfall from heaven. This is the part of the process that looks like it was designed by someone who said, "You know what would make this better? If we could just drown everything in caramel." Here's where things get really technical. The caramel has to be just the right consistency. Too runny, and it's a sticky mess. Too firm, and it won't flow properly over the nougat. It's a balancing act, and the machines are calibrated to make sure that caramel is, as Goldilocks would say, just right. As it spreads over the nougat, the conveyor belts move along steadily, giving the caramel enough time to settle. Oh, and if you ever wanted to walk under a caramel waterfall, I hate to break it to you, but they probably wouldn't let you. It's a VIP candy-only experience. Now, what's a Snickers without its peanuts? It'd just be a chocolate-covered nougat blob. Not quite the same, right? Peanuts are like the star of the show, adding that satisfying crunch that makes each bite better than the last. First, the peanuts go through their own roasting process. They're tossed around in massive ovens, getting evenly roasted so they have just the right amount of crunch. It's like the peanuts are having their own spa day, except, with fire instead of relaxing oils. After their peanut spa treatment, they take a trip to meet the caramel-covered nougat. Imagine a peanut confetti machine showering these crunchy little heroes over the top of the bar as it moves along the conveyor belt. It's peanut perfection. Each bar gets its fair share of nuts, ensuring that you get that ideal balance of salty and sweet in every bite. There are about 16 peanuts in every bar. That may not sound like a lot, but when you're eating a Snickers, you feel like you've just taken a dive into a peanut paradise. All right, now we're at the grand finale, the chocolate coating. At this point, you've got a pretty tasty bar with nougat, caramel, and peanuts, but we all know that Snickers wouldn't be Snickers without that chocolate coating. Here's where things get real Willy Wonka. The bars move toward this giant chocolate waterfall. Yes, that's a real thing, where they're coated in a glorious curtain of milk chocolate. Seriously, it's like something out of your wildest candy dreams. As the bars pass under the waterfall, they're drenched in smooth chocolate, which immediately starts hardening as they cool. But here's a little secret. Snickers doesn't just stop at one coat. Oh no, these bars are double dipped. The first coat is thin, sealing everything in, and the second coat gives it that thick chocolate layer that cracks perfectly when you bite into it. What the heck, right? Double chocolate. Can we get a round of applause for this kind of dedication to deliciousness? Once the bars are completely covered, they're sent through a cooling tunnel. This long conveyor belt moves the bars through a chilly zone where the chocolate sets just right. It's like a chocolatey Arctic journey for these little bars of joy. After the bars have survived their chocolate waterfall adventure, they're sliced and diced into the perfect Snickers size. Huge machines equipped with incredibly sharp blades cut the giant sheets into individual bars, and these bars are whisked off to be wrapped at lightning speed. The wrapping machines are something to behold. These bars are zipping down the line like they're in a race, and before you know it, they're snugly wrapped in that familiar brown and white packaging with the iconic Snickers logo. It's as if the bars are getting their own superhero costume before being shipped out to save the world from hunger-related grumpiness. You can buy Snickers in various sizes. There's the classic bar, but then there's also the fun size, which is only fun until you realize you want 5 more. The king size, because let's be real, you're a snack royalty, and even Snickers ice cream bars. So yeah, they're pretty much taking over the snack world, one variation at a time. Now, I know what you're thinking. Do they really just throw these bars in a box and ship them off? Oh no, before any Snickers bar leaves the factory, it has to go through some pretty intense quality control. Think of this as the snack police. Every single bar gets inspected to make sure it's up to Snickers standards. And let me tell you, the standards are high. There are machines that check the weight, the shape, and even the distribution of peanuts. If a bar is too heavy, too light, or it doesn't have that perfect peanut placement, it's rejected. I imagine there's a special room somewhere in the factory where all the bad Snickers bars go. A place I'd personally love to visit. Snickers isn't just a candy bar, it's a cultural icon. You've probably seen the famous "You're not you when you're hungry" ads. We've all had those moments where we're about to lose it and someone hands us a Snickers to save the day. It's more than a snack, it's a solution. And let's be honest, it works every time. Whether you're eating a Snickers during a marathon, I'm talking about watching one, not running, or grabbing one during a long road trip, this candy bar has become the go-to snack for all occasions. It's reliable, it's satisfying, and it has everything you could ever want in a bite. Sweet, salty, crunchy, and chewy. But wait, there's more. Snickers has evolved way beyond the classic bar we all know and love. Today, you can find Snickers in a variety of forms, from Snickers ice cream bars to Snickers minis. Those cute little bite-sized versions of the original. They've even made Snickers protein bars for those who want to indulge while pretending to be healthy. Let's face it, no matter what form Snickers comes in, it's always a winner. And there you have it, the sweet, nutty journey of how Snickers bars are made. From whipping up the nougat to that legendary chocolate waterfall, Snickers is a candy bar crafted with love and a lot of industrial machinery. It's a crunchy, gooey masterpiece that's been satisfying cravings for decades. Now, we've got to ask, is Snickers your ultimate go-to, or does another chocolate bar steal the crown for you? Let us know your favorite in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more delicious deep dives into your favorite snacks. Until next time, stay sweet, stay nutty, and enjoy your Snickers.